Have you ever wondered if the man you're with truly sees you as his future wife? Maybe he says he loves you, but you're not sure where things are headed. In this video, we're diving deep into how to tell if your man is serious about marrying you, or if you're just not part of his long-term plans. This is not about rushing anyone into marriage or playing games. It's about clarity, knowing what you deserve, and spotting the signs of a partner who's genuinely in it for the long haul. Let me tell you a story about a woman named Sarah. She was in a relationship with her boyfriend, Mike, for 8 years. 8 whole years. Sarah loved Mike deeply, and she assumed that, with time, he'd propose. He'd say things like, "You're the best thing that's ever happened to me," and "I can't imagine my life without you." But here's the thing. Whenever marriage came up, Mike would dodge the topic. Sarah kept waiting, convincing herself that he just needed more time. She supported him through career changes, tough times, and even helped him save for a house. But then, one day, out of the blue, Mike told her he wasn't sure he even believed in marriage and didn't think it was for him. Can you imagine how devastating that was for Sarah? 8 years of her life, and marriage was never on the table. Now, here's the important part. Sarah wasn't wrong for loving Mike or hoping for marriage, but she ignored the signs that he wasn't on the same page. She believed his words, but didn't pay attention to his actions. Have you ever been in Sarah's shoes? Maybe you're there now, waiting, wondering, and hoping for clarity. If you've experienced something similar, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story, and I know there are others watching who can relate too. His words versus actions. Words are easy to say, but actions? They tell the truth. Does he say he sees a future with you but avoids serious discussions about timelines or plans? Pay attention to whether his actions back up his promises. Relatable example. A friend of mine dated a guy for 7 years. He kept saying, "One day we'll get married." But whenever she brought up serious steps, like meeting his parents or saving for a wedding, he'd make excuses. Actions always reveal the truth. Key takeaway. Here's a practical exercise that can give you real clarity. Grab a notebook or your phone and make a list of all the promises your partner has made about your future together. These could be things like, "We'll get married someday. I'll introduce you to my family soon. We'll start saving for a house together." Once you've got that list, ask yourself, have these promises been kept? Are there concrete actions that back them up? For example, if he's said he wants to marry you, has he started discussing timelines, saving for a ring, or even looking at what steps you'd need to take to plan your future? If he said he'd introduce you to his family, has he followed through? Sometimes, it's easy to hold on to someone's words because they make us feel good in the moment. But actions are where the truth lies. If the promises on your list are all talk with no action, that's a sign you need to pay attention to. This isn't about criticizing or attacking him. It's about understanding where he stands. After all, if he's serious about you, his actions will make it clear without you having to guess. Does he include you in his future plans? A man who sees you as his wife will include you in his future. He'll talk about buying a house together, raising kids, or even planning vacations a year ahead. I remember a woman sharing how her boyfriend kept saying, "Let's see where this goes." Anytime she asked about the future, he'd get defensive. That's a red flag. Compare that to another friend whose boyfriend immediately said, "I want us to save for our future together." See the difference? Let's make this real for a moment. I want you to think about your relationship right now. Has your partner ever shared concrete plans for your future together? Not vague ideas like, "Oh, we'll figure it out," but actual steps, like saving for a home, planning where you'll live, or discussing marriage timelines. If they have, share what those plans look like in the comments. Did they follow through, or are you still waiting for things to happen? And if your partner hasn't shared any plans, tell me how that makes you feel. Are you unsure about where things are going? I want this to be a safe space where we can share, support, and learn from each other. So don't be shy. Your story might help someone else who's feeling the same way. The commitment timeline. Every relationship has its own pace, but if you've been dating for 3, 5, or even 10 years without any movement toward engagement, it's time to ask why. Think about it like this. When you know you want a job, you apply for it. You don't just sit around hoping the hiring manager notices you. The same goes for relationships. If he knows you're the one, he'll act on it. Here's one of the most important things you can do if you're unsure where your relationship is heading. Have a direct and honest conversation about timelines. Now, let me be clear. This isn't about giving ultimatums or pressuring your partner into something they're not ready for. It's about understanding where you both stand and whether your visions for the future align. Start the conversation like this. I love what we have, and I see a future with you. I'd really like to know where you see us heading and what your thoughts are about marriage or long-term plans. Keep the tone calm and open. This isn't about accusing them of wasting your time. It's about inviting them to share their perspective. If your partner is serious about you, they'll welcome the chance to talk about it, even if they don't have all the answers right away. But if they dismiss the conversation, get defensive, or give you vague responses, that's something to pay attention to. Having this conversation might feel scary, but it's better to know the truth now than to spend years waiting for something that may never happen. Your time and feelings are valuable, and you deserve clarity. His attitude toward marriage. Does he talk about marriage like it's a ball and chain situation? Or does he view it as a partnership? His overall attitude toward marriage can reveal a lot about whether he sees it in his future and yours. Examples of red flags. He avoids marriage discussions entirely. He always talks about marriage negatively. He jokes about being anti-marriage. Common excuses men give. Let's talk about some of the most common excuses men give when they're not ready or willing to commit to marriage. These phrases can sound reasonable at first, but when you look deeper, they often reveal underlying issues. Let's break them down one by one. 1. I'm not ready yet. What it might mean. On the surface, this sounds like he's just taking his time. But if he's been saying this for years, it's often a sign that he's avoiding commitment altogether. Not ready can mean he's unsure about the relationship, has personal fears about marriage, or simply doesn't see you as part of his long-term plan. How to respond. What does not ready mean to you? Are there specific things you feel you need to accomplish or work on before marriage? This puts the ball in his court and forces him to clarify. If his answer is vague, like, I don't know, I just need time, that's a red flag. If he gives a concrete reason, such as financial stability or career goals, you can have a conversation about timelines and how to work together to get there. 2. Marriage is just a piece of paper. What it might mean. This excuse downplays the emotional and societal significance of marriage. It's often used by men who are either commitment averse or don't believe in the institution of marriage, but don't want to outright say so. How to respond. I hear you, but to me, marriage is about more than a piece of paper. It's a partnership, a commitment, and a shared future. Why do you feel this way about marriage? This approach allows you to express your perspective while inviting him to open up about his feelings. If he truly doesn't believe in marriage, you'll need to decide if that aligns with what you want. 3. Why rush things when we're happy? What it might mean. This is a classic deflection. It suggests he's comfortable with how things are and doesn't see a need to change. However, it often ignores your needs and goals, which is a sign he might not value them as much as he should. How to respond. I agree that we're happy, but for me, marriage isn't about rushing. It's about building a future together. Do you see marriage as part of our future? If his answer is, someday, ask for more specifics. If he can't provide them, it may be time to reevaluate the relationship. 4. I want to get my life together first. What it might mean. This can be a valid reason, if he's working on building his career, paying off debt, or addressing personal challenges. But if there's no visible progress or timeline, it can also be an excuse to delay indefinitely. How to respond. I respect that you want to feel stable before getting married, and I want that for us too. What steps are you taking to get there, and how can we plan for the future together? This question shifts the focus to accountability. If he's serious, he'll have a plan. If not, you may find yourself waiting forever. 5. I've seen too many marriages fail. What it might mean. He might have fears based on his past or experiences with friends and family. While this is understandable, it's important to see whether he's open to working through those fears, or if he's using them as a permanent excuse. How to respond. I get that marriage can seem scary, especially if you've seen it fail. But every relationship is unique, and we have the chance to build something different. What would it take for you to feel confident about marriage? This helps you understand if his fear is something he's willing to address, or if it's a roadblock he's unwilling to move past. 6. I don't think I'm good enough for you. What it might mean. This can seem sweet or self-deprecating, but it's often a way to shift the responsibility onto you. By making it about his insecurities, he avoids discussing the real issue, his reluctance to commit. How to respond. I love you for who you are. But if you feel this way, what's holding you back from growing together as a couple? I'm here to support you. If he's serious, he'll work on addressing his insecurities. If he uses this as a constant excuse, it's a sign he's not ready to step up. 7. I just want to make sure we're 100% ready. What it might mean. Perfection doesn't exist in relationships, and this excuse can indicate he's waiting for an unrealistic, perfect moment, or just stalling. How to respond. No one is ever 100% ready for anything, whether it's marriage, a new job, or any big life change. What does being ready look like to you, and how can we work toward that together? This can help you understand if his hesitation is based on practical concerns or fear of commitment. At the end of the day, excuses are often a way to avoid deeper conversations about the relationship. They can signal fear, uncertainty, or even a lack of intention. The key is to listen carefully, ask follow-up questions, and pay attention to whether his actions match his words. Positive signs: he's serious. He's consistent. He's open about his plans. He invests in the relationship emotionally, financially, and practically. Now let's talk about men who got it right, because healthy relationships do exist, and they're built on clarity, respect, and intention. One couple I know, Jessica and Mark, met at a friend's party. From the very beginning, Mark made his intentions clear. He told Jessica, "I'm looking for something serious, and I'm ready to build a future with the right person." Jessica felt the same way, and within 2 years, they were married. Why did it work so smoothly? Because there were no games, no mixed signals. Mark knew what he wanted and wasn't afraid to act on it. Then there's another story of Maria and James. They dated for a year before James sat Maria down and said, "I can see you as my wife. What do you think about us starting to plan for the future?" He didn't wait for Maria to bring up the conversation or drop hints. He led with intention and respect. Today, they've been happily married for 10 years, and it all started with open communication and a shared vision. These stories highlight one key thing. When a man is serious about you, you won't have to wonder or guess where you stand. He'll show you through his words, his actions, and his consistency. I'm not saying these relationships were perfect. They had their challenges, like any couple. But what made them strong was their commitment to each other and their willingness to build a future together. Here's the most important thing I want you to take away from this video. You are worthy of love, commitment, and a partner who truly values you. You deserve someone who sees your worth and doesn't hesitate to make you a permanent part of their life. It's easy to stay in a relationship hoping someone will change, but remember, your time, your energy, and your heart are priceless. Don't waste them on someone who keeps making excuses or stringing you along. Marriage isn't just about a ring or a wedding. It's about choosing each other, building a future together, and committing to a shared life. If your partner isn't ready to step up, that doesn't mean you're asking for too much. It just means they aren't the right person for you right now. Knowing when to walk away. Recognizing when it's time to leave. Sometimes, the clearest answer is inaction. If you've communicated your needs and he still avoids the topic of marriage, it may be time to consider if this relationship aligns with your goals. Here's the most important thing I want you to take away from this video. You are worthy of love, commitment, and a partner who truly values you. You deserve someone who sees your worth and doesn't hesitate to make you a permanent part of their life. It's easy to stay in a relationship hoping someone will change, but remember, your time, your energy, and your heart are priceless. Don't waste them on someone who keeps making excuses or stringing you along. Marriage isn't just about a ring or a wedding. It's about choosing each other, building a future together, and committing to a shared life. If your partner isn't ready to step up, that doesn't mean you're asking for too much. It just means they aren't the right person for you right now. Walking away from someone who isn't ready can be painful, but settling for less than you deserve will hurt far more in the long run. You are not too needy or too demanding for wanting clarity and commitment. Your needs and dreams are valid, and the right person will not only respect them, but will also work with you to fulfill them. Take this as your reminder to stand tall in your worth. Love yourself enough to know when to stay and when to let go. The right partner will see your value and will make it clear. No games, no excuses. At the end of the day, actions always speak louder than words. If he's serious about you, he'll show it. Through his commitment, his consistency, and the effort he puts into building a future with you. Words alone aren't enough. It's about what he does to back them up. We've talked about the signs, the excuses, the conversations you need to have, and most importantly, your worth in all of this. A man who truly values you will make his intentions clear, and you won't have to question where you stand. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you been in a situation where you weren't sure if your partner was serious about marriage? How did you handle it? Or maybe you're in a healthy relationship where your partner has shown you that you're their priority. Share your story in the comments below. Remember this, you deserve someone who sees you as their future, not as an option. Don't settle for less than your worth because the right person won't make you wait or wonder. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more honest conversations about love and relationships. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.